Wow, hearing about that makes me realize how fortunate we really are. But as you all know, life can change on a dime. And I'm talking about tragedies like fires, accidents, tornadoes, hurricanes. And that's when the American Red Cross comes into play. Joining me now is Elizabeth Jordan from the American Red Cross, our local chapter, to talk to us about what they do and their need for volunteers. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's great to have you.
It's great to be here.
My first question is, when I saw your name, you have all these letters after it. What did it stand for? I know it's very impressive.
Well, thank you. The MPA is my Master's in Public Affairs, and that comes from University of Colorado Springs.
Okay.
And then I have a doctorate in management with emphasis of disaster recovery that comes from Colorado Technical University.
Wow, so I'm really talking to a bigwig here. Okay.
I don't know about that. But.
Tell us, we all know of the American Red Cross, but I don't know that everybody realizes all the things you do and exactly what you do. Are you considered a first responder? I hear that.
Well, we're kind of, if you were to think about it from that standpoint, we're more the second responder.
That's what I think. Yeah, exactly.
So the firefighter would be the first responder. They're the ones that put the wet stuff on the red stuff, basically. And
right.
once the
water on the fire. Okay.
Right. And once the fire's out, then we're looking at what do we do with that family that's displaced after the fire.
Right.
So we're that second responder that comes in, and we try to meet their immediate needs.
Okay. Do you have an overall mission statement
we do.
about what you do? I don't care about that. We don't care about the formal name of it, but
well, to alleviate human suffering following a disaster by mobilizing our volunteers.
Okay.
Who are kind enough to give their time, and then we couldn't possibly do that without the help of our donators,
right?
The support of our donations,
right?
We don't receive federal funding, so everything that we provide
I thought that you
is literally from donations.
Oh my goodness!
And our support of the community,
right? And so you really have a big need for volunteers.
We do have a need for volunteers.
So when after a fire, is put out, or the tornado's gone, or a hurricane, that's when you come in and to eliminate suffering. So you provide food. Medical care,
clothing, shelter. It depends on the circumstance.
Of course.
We have the single family fire that happens on a regular basis. That's something that happens in the middle of the night. And then we have a family displaced, and we're trying to meet their immediate needs. At 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm on the side of the road, what do I do? Where do I go? I'm still in my pajamas. So then we're able to provide them a hotel, a safe place to stay, food and clothing, and then we follow up with what we call client casework, which is sitting down and trying to assess what those needs are going to be going forward and how they can put together that short-term plan to return to a new normal. Because we can't possibly bring back what they once had, but we can help them in many ways. Even during a disaster, we have grief and trauma teams that come out and respond with our disaster action team volunteers to help with emotional needs as well.
Well, because that's a huge component of any loss or tragedy, and PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, is, I'm sure, goes hand in hand with some of these things. Now, what jobs can volunteers do? Do you have to have special training, or?
Our volunteer process involves a lot of different jobs. Sheltering is one of the ones that we provide, disaster action teams that I explained. The most important part of that training is just a volunteer would have to fill out the application, go through our background check process. Once they've completed that, just the willing to help someone else in need. And then we will provide them the training for the specific area of interest that they are interested in.
They've expressed an interest in. So what's your website so we can give it out to our viewers?
Our website is www.pparc.org.
Wonderful. So all you guys out there, volunteer your time to the American Red Cross. Even though they're called second responders, they're so important.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate you being here very much, Dr. Jordan.